Hello friendos and randos, welcome to another video. Today we're discussing which are the best new cards in OP05 for each color. Just a quick rundown of the top 6 cards in the entire set. So first up we have red. I think this is a card that has been making the rounds. It's quite a controversial card. It is Karasu. Karasu's effect is 4 cost, 5000 power, 1000 counter, revolutionary army type. His effect is on play, if your leader has the type revolutionary army, then you may give up to one opponent leader or character card minus 1000 power for the turn. So I think of course the controversy is giving negative power to a leader is a very powerful effect. More important part is his secondary effect, which is when attacking, if this character has 7000 or more power, give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 1000 power for the turn. Notably, this secondary effect isn't actually locked to Revolutionary Army leaders, so a lot of people are freaking out about whether Zoro will be using this card and then swinging 4k at you with his buggies and dadans for free, and that is definitely a valid concern, and it does seem like quite a problematic card. We will see closer to the future if it actually remains that problematic. It does seem to be an issue for decks that don't have any forms of removal. Like for example, Whitebeard, the only way you can out this is Otama and Marco, and you won't be able to do that on curve either if the Zoro drops this on the 4th on turn. I do think that the current panic over this card is a bit overblown. It definitely does feel like a very strong card though, especially for Battle Betty as well as Savo. Moving on to green cards, the best new green card is definitely the 2-cost Don Quixote Rocinante blocker. It is a 2-cost 1000 power card with 1000 counter, and as mentioned, it is a blocker, but most importantly is its effect. During your opponent's turn, if your opponent were to KO one of your rested characters, you may instead KO this character. So it is your first way of preventing KO by effects on another character. So his blocker effect extends to not just attacks, but also to KO effects, which is very powerful. One thing to note is, of course, it only applies to rested characters, so that's one downside to it, but it's still a very strong 2-cost blocker, and I think will be a very interesting tech card to include in many green decks. Next, for blue cards, the best blue card to be released is definitely the new ulti for mixed colored leaders. This ulti card is able to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and then add one of them to your hand, so you basically get to draw one card, and then after that you can choose to place the remaining cards on the top or bottom of the deck. So you can actually put it on top instead of bottom like many other searchers, which makes it one of the best searcher type characters in the game. She's also 4 cost 5000 power with 1k counter, so it's a very reasonable stat line as well. Next, for purple, the best new purple card is for sure the new 5 cost 6k power Eustace Kid blocker. This card is insane in red purple kit, red purple law, as well as most other purple decks in the later stages of the game. Its effect is blocker, and then during your own turn, once per turn, if you are to return Dawn from your board, you are able to add one active Dawn after that. So this means things like the red purple kit leader ability, if you're using it, you may get one active Dawn back, so you're getting a rebate for your Dawn spend basically. So it's really powerful, and I expect this to be a very staple card for all purple decks moving forward. It even has 1000 counter, so there's very few downsides to running this card. Now for black, I think the best black card is definitely the new Rob Lucci card. 4 cost 6000 power. On play, you may return 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, and then KO one of your opponent's cost 2 or lower and one cost 1 or lower character. This is the first cheap double removal that black has access to. Being able to KO a 2 cost and a 1 cost makes black's matchups into Zoro and Red Green Law a lot better, and the best part about it is that you don't have to discard a card, and the requirement in your trash is not limited to CP related cards like Kaku, so you can use it for any cards. You can return any cards to the bottom of your deck in order to get that KO effect. Very strong card. I think moving into OP05 really does help you stem some aggro. And lastly, for yellow, I think the best card by far is Gedatsu. Gedatsu is a 5 cost 6000 power unit with 1000 counter as well, and his on play effect is you may KO one character that has a cost equal to or less than the total number of life your opponent has. So on the 5 Dawn turn, you're able to KO a character with 4 cost very easily. Even against Whitebeard, he would have only taken 2 of his own life cards, so you can KO the 4 cost vanilla with this card on curve, which makes it a very strong and powerful card. Up to now, yellow hasn't really gotten any efficient removal yet, So this card is a huge buff for any yellow deck and is probably a 4 off in any yellow deck moving forward. So those are the 6 most powerful cards in set 5. I'm looking forward to building more decks. I already have released the Blue-Black Sakazuki deck profile, you can check it out over here. And I will be releasing a new Red-Purple Kit deck profile soon as well. Thank you friendos and randos for watching. Have a great day ahead. Peace out.